Welcome to the Muxall Open IoT channel. I am your host, Michael Klein. So in this video, we're going to be looking at the settings for the Asus router. Mine is a model RT-N66U. And for the Muxall Pro BBQ Controller remote update. So as you can see, it seems a little bit slow. So let me get logged in and I'll show you what's going on here. I believe these are pretty much the default settings. So if you go to the wireless tab in your router, and it's set for auto and channel bandwidth between 20 and 40 megahertz, and control the channel, everything's auto. And of course not the passwords and stuff. But and then if you go over to the professional settings, just ignoring all this top stuff because I want to look at this enabled TX bursting or enable transmit bursting, enable, I forget what this stands for, Wi-Fi multimedia, and these settings down here in the sleep mode. Now if you're using an ESP32, it defaults to sleep mode, and you need to turn that off. And the easiest way to tell, if you go to your network tools and you ping your ESP32, so you see how the first one's kind of long, but anyway, you see how it's like 1 millisecond, 2 milliseconds, 1 millisecond. If you have sleep turned on, these will bounce around between 100 milliseconds, 200 milliseconds, 10 milliseconds, 100 milliseconds. And so you need to turn sleep off. I forget what the command, but if you just Google ESP32 Wi-Fi sleep, you'll find it, believe me. So anyway, back to what we're talking about on the Asus here. I'm going to go ahead and leave it default. I'll go ahead and add a tab and update it. Go to the update tab, I mean. And you can see it's a little bit sluggish, you know. And if you go to the log and go to this wireless tab here, you can see that it's set for like 72 meg, right? But I mean, look at this. You saw how long that took to pull up, right? and this is at 72 meg. We'll go ahead and update it. This works sometimes, okay? And this is the problem here. To make this video for people that just want to get down to business, let me just show you the settings. Those that are just interested, then we'll test the rest of it. So the settings that I use that seem to give me the best performance are in the wireless general tab. Go to legacy, and that defaults it to 20 megahertz only. Leave everything else the same. Hit apply before you leave the tab. I've made that mistake several times. And it's gonna apply. I don't know what it's doing. I think it's restarting actually the wireless. And okay, then you go over to the professional tab and you turn off this bursting. And I'm on the fence with this multimedia thing. I'm not exactly sure. I've been turning it off because it has the sleep in here. This is an automatic power save thing. And I don't want any power saving stuff. So I just disabled all this stuff. And you can tinker with this. But okay, so this enable transmit bursting though is important, right? This guy right here. You can tinker with. It works it works pretty much, well, you'll see, you know. We'll go ahead and reload this GUI here in a second. I'm gonna go, as soon as these changes apply, I'm gonna restart the controller to make sure it's, you know, has all the new Wi-Fi settings, or, you know, everything is negotiated properly and doesn't have any of the old stuff in it. So I'll be right back. Okay, so I've rebooted the Muxall Pro BBQ Controller that has ESP32 in it. I'm gonna go log into it here real quick. And now let's go to this update tab and see how fast it loads. See that? Yeah, that's a tad faster, isn't it? Yeah, it's a lot happier with this stuff disabled and put in legacy mode. And this legacy mode, if you're curious, it says on here that it's, well, I can't move my cursor, but if you read down under legacy, it says BGN devices to connect to RTN66U, but 802.11n devices only run at speed of 54 meg. So if this is your gaming router and you want faster bandwidth, it's probably not good to leave it in legacy mode. I don't know, 54 meg is pretty darn fast. But anyway, you can disable it if you want, or you can, But anyway, I leave mine in here because I noticed, I leave mine on legacy all the time because even my Canon camera doesn't like the wireless mode set in this auto thing. It's just slower than, it's just so slow you wouldn't believe it. Okay, so those are the settings. You saw how fast it was. Now I'm going to go ahead and perform an update with those settings. And I guess we can sit here and watch it. It's I don't know, I might speed this part up because it takes about a minute and a half to update it. Okay, it's updated and it's back to the login prompt. I'll go ahead and log in and go to the update tab. And you can see I just built this little load is basically the exact same as the other load. It does have a couple little things in it that are different, but it has nothing to do with the Wi-Fi. So that was a success. So now what I'm going to do, and those are the settings for those of you guys that want to drop off. The rest of us will tinker with this. I'm going to set it back to what the defaults are, and we'll see if we can downgrade it. Like I said, it works sometimes it doesn't. Okay, so the default settings are like auto and 2040. Everything else is auto. Apply. Okay, and we'll jump over here to the professional tab. We'll re-enable our TX bursting. Oh, check it out. It already, I guess when I put it back on auto, it changed this back. Huh. And anyway, I think that's about it. This might be different than yours. I have mine set on balance. This is just the transmit power of the router. And I do that so it doesn't interfere with my other Wi-Fi access point. So, okay, so I'm just gonna, everything else is enabled, yeah, this WMM Wi-Fi multimedia. So I'm just gonna hit apply here. Okay, and as soon as that's done applying, I'm going to restart the barbecue, so I'll be right back. Okay, I've restarted the barbecue controller. I'll go ahead and relog back into it. And yeah, I could have hit the refresh button, but I want to make sure that we pull it from the controller, not from a cache in Firefox. So, okay, I'll log in. And let's go down here to system log and see what speed it's logged in at. Okay, yeah, so it's going to be doing 72 meg, and I'm not exactly sure what this is. It seems to vary, but 72.2 seems to happen a lot when it's in this auto mode. Let's go to the update tab. All right, well, that wasn't too bad. That actually loaded okay. We'll go back to the previous version, which is just the 0.442 with no A at the end. Like I said, they're identical, so bouncing between those versions, the Wi-Fi settings in both versions are identical, so it doesn't matter. They bounce in between. It's not like we're going from an old version to a new version. Okay, it's done updating or downgrading, if you will. Go ahead and log back into this guy. And let's go see if it was a success. Yeah, sure enough, it worked. And yeah, so, and this is what this is what I was running into, is sometimes these settings worked, and one of the other testers, also one of the guys that's testing the Muxall Pro BBQ Controller with the ESP32, also ran into this. He was asking me, he was like, well, it wasn't working earlier, now it's working. And it's because these settings, I don't know if it's, I don't know why these settings don't work well. But you saw earlier, it can get very sluggish, and my actually my Canon camera doesn't like them either. It definitely likes the legacy mode. So I don't know. And for sure this this transmit bursting is probably overrunning the little buffer on the ESP32, and that could probably be adjusted, but I find just disabling it is most helpful. And you can tinker with these if you don't have a problem with the this multimedia thing. I'm not really sure what it does, but anyway, that's it. So remember, legacy mode on the general tab. Everything else is default. And on the professional tab, I definitely disable this transmit bursting, and I disable, whoops, oh, I did, oh, there you go. So that's why it keeps turning it on. I didn't hit apply on that previous page because I didn't want to waste everyone's time. But anyway, it's legacy, apply. Okay, so I applied it, and then on the professional, we want to disable this bursting, and I disable this multimedia thing. And of course, don't forget to hit apply. And that's it. So there you go. Don't forget, you can support the Muxall Open IoT channel by donation using a credit card and PayPal, or by purchasing products at the Muxall store. Details and links are in the description under this video. Well, that's it for this video. If you liked the video, give it a big thumbs up, that helps, and hit the subscribe button, that really helps. If you have any questions or comments, post them in the comments under this video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.